Welcome to Aligned and Abundant, the podcast where authenticity meets practicality, compassion, alignment, and abundance. I'm your host, Christine Marcario, and I help you slow down, become more mindful, improve your mental and emotional health, and live life on your highest timeline. Together, we'll talk strategy, life lessons, and share inspiring stories of people who have overcome obstacles, grown through their pain, and risen above adversity. If you are looking for divine inspiration rooted in love and light, paired with practical tools and encouragement, you're in the right place at the right time. From one heart to another, you are an amazing and divine soul with a purpose. Take my hand and let's walk this path together. On today's episode, we are going to talk about vivid dreams. And what exactly are vivid dreams? What do they do for you? Are they messages from your soul? Replays from your subconscious? Answers from the divine? We're going to explore the answer together. You know those nights where your dreams feel so real that you wake up shaken, inspired, confused, or even cracked wide open? You might look at your partner and be fuming mad about something that he or she did in your dream. But the emotions feel so real. You feel like they actually really happened. You might be flying, meeting someone who's crossed over, seeing repeated numbers, or waking up with an idea that solves a problem you've been wrestling with for days. Your dreams are not random. They are messages. They are medicine, and sometimes they are miracles. Let's dive deep into why you're dreaming so vividly, what it means energetically, and how you can begin to interpret, trust, and use these dreams as tools for transformation. I know for one, I have extremely vivid dreams. I usually wake up in the morning and the details that replay in my mind are so vivid. It's literally like I am going to another dimension, another world, another planet, and I am just out and about. I literally wake up sometimes feeling so exhausted. I'm like, what did I just do all night? Because clearly I didn't get the sleep that I needed. So let's first talk about why vivid dreams happen. We dream every night, but not all dreams are created equal. Vivid dreams tend to happen during REM sleep when our brains are at their most active. But more than that, they often show up when we're going through a life transition, we're doing healing work or energy clearing. Maybe you've set a spiritual intention before you went to sleep. Perhaps your guides or your higher self are trying to get your attention. I always say vivid dreams are like whispers from your soul amplified through the night. They reflect your subconscious, but also your energy body, your emotions, and often even downloads from spirit. I usually tend to set an intention before I go to sleep. For example, if I have a problem that I cannot figure out myself logically, and I can't turn off my brain, and I just want to get some clarity, I know that my guard is down when I'm sleeping. I trust and believe that I will be protected from any and all negative entities or energies during the night because I say my prayers and I surround myself with the white light of the Holy Spirit. And, I set the intention that I'm protected. Then I will do my usual request of, hey, I need help with this, or I need clarity surrounding this idea. And then I just go to bed. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't spend time thinking about it and trying to work it out. I just let it go. And sometimes it doesn't happen the first night. Sometimes it doesn't even happen the second night. but most times I will get some type of information through my dreams. So that's why it is important for me to be able to have, again, a quiet morning. I know I talked about this in a previous episode if you've been following along. If not, you can always go back and start at the beginning. It's important to me to have a quiet morning so I can take the time to really think about the dreams that I had and what messages may have come through while I was sleeping. There are also times where I will wake up and I'll just have a number stuck in my head. I will then look up the spiritual meaning behind that number, and oftentimes it will give me an answer or a direction point as far as the question that I had when I went to sleep. You may also wake up at a certain time, and checking the number on your clock could also be the same thing, an angel number, a message from spirit that is guiding you towards a specific direction or an answer. You might also have a reoccurring dream. For example, I always dream about being in my childhood home and the doors won't lock properly. What that means, I have not yet figured out entirely, but I always have the same dream, but in different ways. So it's the same concept, like I am trying to keep something out and the doors will not lock. And so they're usually extremely vivid. And I try to think back to my childhood. I do feel like my back door did not always lock properly. So part of me is like, okay, that's just what it was. Maybe it was just a sense of not feeling completely safe. And I think that can happen anywhere, right? For example, when I was older and had my own home, I at first thought it was weird, but then I actually really liked it. So the bedrooms were all up on the second floor, and there was an extra door with like a deadbolt, basically to block off the bedrooms from the rest of the house. And like I said, at first I thought it was weird, but then I actually really grew to love having like that extra sense of security. So I don't read into it too much. I know and believe that in divine timing, if there is a message hidden behind the recurrence of those dreams where I am trying to keep out like bad guys, monsters, zombies, like they're all sorts of crazy things. It's never like a specific person that I'm trying to keep out. It's like these crazy scenarios where I'm like, what am I doing? What is going on here? Another dream that I have had is I wear contacts. So another dream that I've had is where I am trying to put in my contact, but my contact like turned into like the weirdest things. Like it might turn into like a 12-inch contact. It might turn, I think in one dream it was a pickle. Like I'm trying to put in a pickle in my eye, and really it's supposed to be my contact. So finally I kept thinking that I'm not seeing something clearly, like I'm missing something. I'm missing something because I can't see it clearly. And for the longest time, I thought that's what this dream was trying to tell me. And then I sat down and I was like talking about it during one of my classes with one of my mentors. And she was like, I don't think that's what that dream means at all. And I was like, wait, what? And she was like, honestly, I think it means that you're not seeing the bigger picture and all of the good things that are surrounding you. So yes, you're not seeing things, but in a more positive way. Like you're not seeing all the abundance that's around you. Instead of the way I was taking it, like someone's out to get me or someone has the evil eye on me and like I'm missing something. Do you know what I mean? So again, interpretation can really be what you make of it. It might be different than what you think it is. So it is definitely cool to ask other people who might be into dream interpretation or dream analysis. I know growing up, I had this one good friend, and she still is a good friend. And I would be like, what do you think this dream means? And then we would sit there and rip it apart together. So it's always cool to ask someone else what they think about it. I love going on like antiflow.com and searching what her interpretations are. I will put that in the show notes in case you're interested. I'm not an affiliate for her or anything. It's just one of my go-tos for understanding my dream realm. Another type of dreaming is astral travel. And it's really so ironic that even children, more so perhaps, astral travel. I used to always dream about flying. And when I looked up flying, it said, it as in the internet, said that it usually meant that you were astral traveling. And astral travel is when your soul has left your body is safe and sound, tucked away in your bed, but your soul has basically gone out to play. And so you are out there doing other things besides being in your body. And that's what I was talking about before when I said you can wake up completely exhausted because, yes, your body was sleeping, but it wasn't like fully intact because you were out basically playing all night. And I feel like I honestly do that because I wake up and I describe it as cracked out. I wake up feeling cracked out where like I just feel like there's bags under my eyes and they're not like the nice kind, right? They're not like Gucci bags. They're like deep, dark circles under my eyes. And it looks like I have gotten no sleep, even though I literally slept all night. But I clearly was like not relaxing in my sleep. So I was just actually listening to a different podcast and he shared that the number one biohack, in his opinion, is actually to get the best sleep that you can. So he had suggested to get like, one of the Apple Watches or an app that can track your sleep and to really give you data to see how well you are sleeping. I know that other studies have really said that habit is super important when it comes to sleep. Like if you're going to set your bedtime for like 10 p.m., then you need to be consistent with going to bed at 10 p.m. Having a very clear and concise set bedtime routine to make sure that you are getting the appropriate amount of sleep. I know that at one point I had actually downloaded an app that I was using to track my sleep, and I didn't need to be wearing any type of device. It was just a sleep app on my phone. We could basically monitor when I went to sleep by when I put my phone down on top of my nightstand. And I know that they actually say that you shouldn't put your phone in the same room that you're sleeping in, but that could be a whole nother podcast in itself. What I did notice is that oftentimes I wouldn't get any really good sleep until the morning hours from like 3 to 6. And I don't know how it is for everybody else because I'm only in my own life experience, but I know that sometimes I feel like I get my best sleep, of course, like right before the alarm's about to go off. It's like, come on, I need more sleep because I was just getting into it. And it's like 5 hours later, But what I was going to say is it's really funny. At some point, I used the app to calculate like how much sleep that I needed. And it basically gave me a time, just dependent on when I was getting up. I was at one point getting up at 5:30 every morning to make sure that I had enough time to get up and get ready, and then I had a commute. And so basically it's just funny to say that my nighttime alarm goes off at 9:34 p.m. every night, and it's just like a little reminder that it's time to start wrapping up the night and get ready for bed. Do I listen to it? Absolutely not. I pay no attention to it besides like, oh, it's 9:34. And it's just funny to me because it's such a random number. Like, I actually have no clue how I came up with it. At some point I did know how I came up with it, but now it's been like months, maybe even a year or two that this alarm has been in my phone. And I couldn't tell you today how I came up with it. At some point it made sense. So out of all of that, take the time, do a little exploration, see what it is that you need as far as sleep. I had also read a book where this gentleman was trying to discover how much work he could get done on the littlest amount of sleep. And I think at one point he had it down to an hour, and he said he actually couldn't function on just 1 hour of sleep. I can't imagine who could. But I think he ended up getting it down to 4 hours of sleep. That is all he needed to have a completely full, productive day. I mean, good for him. I was working with my rheumatologist, and we came to the conclusion that in order for me to feel my best, I need 9.5 hours of sleep. And who has time for 9.5 hours of sleep? I most certainly do not. I have 3 children and things have to happen. So 9.5 hours of sleep only happens when I am off for the summers or off on a break. So I would suggest that you do a little exploration and figure out what would work best for you, your body, and your schedule, and then go from there. Now, back onto the dreams. Again, sometimes you can wake up with numbers in your head. I often immediately go to my phone, right, or the internet, and Google spiritual numbers. What does it mean? And then I don't necessarily go to the first one. I go to whatever one catches my eye, because each website will have a slightly different interpretation, and just feel in your body which one feels the best. And then usually that is the message that is available for you. For example, if you wake up and you see a number either on your clock or you remember it being in your dream, like 111, that could symbolize new beginnings. It could be confirmation that you're aligning with a new path. If you see 222, it means that you're being supported and to continue to stay patient and to trust that the universe has your back. You might see numbers that represent a loved one that's crossed over, right? So for example, if I see any combination of 413, which for me is April 13th, my Nana's birthday, I know that she is with me, or she wants me to pay attention to something, or she's just saying, hey, I'm here, I support you. I oftentimes see those numbers when I wake up. Another way that you can utilize your dreams by setting intention is give up something that is truly bothering you and say, hey, I need a solution in my dream. You might wake up with clarity about something that's been bothering you. Your subconscious works on it while you rest. Einstein, for example, said some of his ideas came while he was sleeping from his dreams. So if you are in a place of confusion, ask for guidance before you go to sleep. Set the intention to ask for guidance from your spirit team, God, the universe. They will answer. You might be surprised at the clarity that arrives. Sometimes you just wake up with an idea in your head. For example, my son's car has a license plate that is kind of like broken, so it actually can't hold the license plate in the right way. So my ex-husband was trying to figure out a way in which he could fix it, get my son's license plate on the car properly. And he was logically thinking. And then he texted my son. He's like, I woke up and I dreamed about the solution. He's like, I got it figured out. So that was literally an example of like going to bed with like a problem in your mind and totally getting the answer in your dreams. And yes, now my son's car has the license plate appropriately fixed because he came up with the idea actually in his dream. So I know that I've done it myself before, but that's the most recent example that literally just happened like this past week. So give it to God, give it to Source. Your subconscious brain can do the work while you are sleeping, while you're checked out, right? Another thing that you may notice happens in your dreams is an emotional release or healing. These are the dreams where you cry, you confront someone from your past, or you feel intense emotional waves. This is your subconscious doing deep, energetic processing. And sometimes healing happens in sleep faster than in waking life. I know that I recently had a dream where I told someone off that in real life I would really want to tell them off. And honestly, it felt like such a huge relief because sometimes you need to let that shit go, right? But in my waking life, I kept holding on to it. And the dream felt really good, just to curse this specific person out. And I'm not saying go and be a bad person and wish ill upon people. I do believe that karma will do its job. So that's not up to me to decide who needs a consequence or whatnot. But, we are human and we do have emotions. And sometimes you just want to tell someone off, right? So I did that in my dream. And then obviously there were no consequences besides, getting that emotion out of me. So go for it. Tell those people off in your dreams. Another thing that I do believe is you can energetically release things that you may be holding on to that it's time to let go of. Your higher self can come through and give you messages. Your spirit team can come through and guide you into letting things go. You can also jump into a higher timeline. I have been holding on to this for a little while because I just think it is so cool and I didn't know exactly when to share it, but right now feels like the right moment. So I recently became interested in jumping timelines. What exactly does jumping timelines mean? That means that you have all the choices in the world, all the paths in the world to take. And sometimes you are going to take the way that involves U-turns and a K-turn, and maybe you have to back up because it's a dead end, right? But then you can also have the choice of putting on ways and just having a direct straight route to where you need to go. So jumping a timeline is you're bypassing the long way. You're bypassing the U-turns, you're bypassing the jug handles, and you are getting a more direct route to a higher version of yourself. So out of all the realms of possibility that you have, you are kind of taking a more direct route. I don't know how to explain it in a different way than that, so you can always feel free to Google it and get more information that way, because I think it's super important to educate yourself and to find definitions that resonate with you and that you are able to understand. So recently I would go to bed with setting the intention of wanting to jump onto a higher timeline. And you can also find YouTube music or meditations or frequencies that you can play when you go to sleep. So basically I went to sleep one night with the intention of jumping into a higher timeline, and I literally can't explain it, but it's like you wake up knowing that you did it. Something just feels slightly better. That's the best way that I can describe it. It's like you know that some healing happened, and you know that you feel more of a sense of peace and possibility and expansion. It's just like a feeling of knowing, and I don't think that it's necessarily easy for every single person to do, but I think if you're consistent with wanting to explore who you are as a person and working through the issues that you may have, facing the shadow side of yourself, and basically quote unquote doing the work, I think that you develop a sense where you can really truly tell when you have made a jump. And so I totally felt that I had jumped into a higher timeline. There was evidence in regards to how I felt about certain things and whatnot. And so I was like, this is amazing. Like, I definitely want to do this again. So my husband and I had gone away for my birthday weekend, and it was so weird because I had again went to sleep with that same intention. I'm like, I want to jump to a higher timeline. And part of the evidence that they say is that you can just there'll be certain little subtleties, there'll be little differences. So the next morning, I felt like it had happened again. And so we're lying in bed and we're just kind of chilling, like I'm journaling and doing my own thing. He's playing on his phone. And I look down at my pajama pants, and I swear to you that they are sort of the same pajama pants, but they are not the same pajama pants that I once had. So these new pajama pants, as evidence of jumping into a higher timeline, had a stripe down the side. So I turned to my husband and I said, listen, I know I have had these pants for a while now. Do you remember this stripe being there? And he's like, no, that stripe definitely has not been there. And I said, I think I jumped into a higher timeline. And I said, you must have come with me because we're both noticing this same subtle difference. And he totally was into it and he believed that it happened because there was clear evidence. Like, it's so wild. I wish I had a picture of these pants beforehand, but I'm telling you, they were the same but slightly different. It's like the Mandela effect. Like, why do some people remember the Berenstain Bears being spelled AIN and others remember EIN? So that baffled me for the longest time. And then it finally dawned on me within the past year that I'm like, people are on different timelines. It is the same event, but people have different memories because they are a more evolved version of themselves. They are a higher version of themselves. So my whole point is, it's totally possible for you to jump into a higher timeline. It does come from raising your frequency, raising your vibration, and setting the intention. So getting the help of your spirit team. Your spirit team is always with you. They just need to be asked for help, right? So archangels, for example, they cannot interfere with your life unless you specifically ask for their help. And think of them as like an Uber driver. Guys, don't be mad at me. Think about them as an Uber driver. They're just waiting around to get the call. And then when you make the call, they just speed on over and they give you a hand. Now, are they going to solve all of your problems? No, because you came here with a soul contract. You came here with a purpose. You came here with a curriculum that you have to master and overcome, right? It's just a matter of how much can you handle. Are you going to pass that class with a C or are you going to pass it with an A, right? Because sometimes we get tired, we get overwhelmed. We're like, why did I sign up for this? And we tap out. We're like, I need help. I need a hand over here. Someone give me a hand, right? I think it's super important to just educate yourself about all of the options that are available to you out there in this world. We are souls living in a human body. We are having a human experience, but our soul is so much more than that. We have so much attached to who we are, and that's why it is so important to learn about who you are as a soul, who you are as a person here in this lifetime, and your vivid dreams can help you with that mission. Moving on, have you ever woken up feeling like you lived an entirely different life in your sleep? Because energetically, you kind of did. Your brain doesn't fully distinguish between what's imagined and what's real. So when you dream vividly, your energy body is processing as if those events happened. And that's why sometimes if you wake up feeling angry at someone, it actually takes you like a few minutes to re-regulate your body into knowing that that person may not have actually done what you thought they did. Another example of that is you may have had a really sad dream where something happened to someone that you love. You wake up feeling so sad. I know that I recently had a dream where something happened to one of my children and I woke up literally, oh my gosh, I had tears coming down my face because I was heartbroken. And again, sometimes our dreams are just so vivid that our emotions need some time to come back into alignment. They need to come back to normal. I don't know the answer to all of these dreams or the dream interpretations for every single scenario, right? It could be just a fear playing out. For example, that's the situation. Like my son, when he was little, he always used to walk away from us. And we would like not lose him, but like he would walk away. And for like 5 seconds, I would freak out because I'm one of those people that immediately freaks out. Where is he? Where did he go? Because I'm panicked and I'm worried, right? Like, where is my child? So one time we were on a family vacation and we were about to go on the Niagara River on a speedboat. And my 4-year-old decided to go up to the upper level without letting any of us adults know. And we all kind of thought that the other person had him. So as we were filling out these waivers, my son decided to walk upstairs because he was quote unquote bored. This is my 4-year-old at the time. I'm just the worst person in regards to like fear. I immediately go into, he's now drowning down the river. He's gone forever. I'm like, basically paralyzed with fear. And so I just lash out and I'm like, where is Ryan? What happened? Who's watching him? Luckily, we find him within 30 seconds, right? But it's like the scariest moment of your life as a parent. And the whole point is that sometimes those fears are so real that they bleed into your sleep, and that deep sense of emotion just follows you and finds you there in your dreams as well. So again, I don't have all the answers. Why do I wake up having dreams where my son goes missing? Like, I think it's just a fear. I pray it's nothing serious. But at the end of the day, again, I think our brains are just processing so much because we have over 60,000 thoughts while we're awake. I can only imagine what we're doing when we're sleeping. I'm not educated enough to really give you a full answer. But what I do know is, again, you can have vivid dreams that either relay messages, work things out for you, give you the healing that you need, give you the energetic boost that you need, and it's all good. All right? When you're sleeping, your ego is also quieter, which means that your intuition and your higher self can speak more clearly. There's no filters, there's no logic walls, it's just direct soul-to-soul connection. So you can do lots of different things to support your dream journey. You can set an intention before you go to sleep. You can say something simple like, I am open to receiving messages for my highest good tonight. Or show me what I need to heal. Show me what I need to release. And then be open to that happening. This opens a conscious portal for aligned dreaming. You can also keep a dream journal. Doesn't have to be anything fancy. Just jot down the feelings, symbols, people, key elements. And then over time, you might see patterns emerging. And with those patterns will come answers and come clarity. Recap, you can pay attention to symbols and numbers. You can use a dream dictionary if it helps, but also trust your gut. Another thing that you can do is meditate or journal the morning after. What part of this dream is a mirror? What is this dream trying to activate in me? Where do I need to take action? Or where do I need to let go? And then just jot down anything that comes to your mind. Just let it go. Don't overthink it. This is your own personal journal. You're not sharing it with anybody. You can just let everything out. You can also do a voice memo. Most phones have a voice recorder. You can, if you don't want to ache your hand with handwriting, you can just pick up your phone and just do a voice note. I don't think that's as effective because then you can't necessarily go back and see the overlapping patterns that may emerge. But again, it's better than nothing. I would also suggest that you say thank you to your spirit team when you do get a message, or you feel like you get a message, or you feel like you got an energetic upgrade or a healing while you slept. For me, my dreams are very, very vivid. I feel so much during my dreams, and there are certain times where I just wake up knowing that I was healed on some level. There have been times where I have battled anxiety or depression, and I go to sleep, in a crappy state of mind. And then I wake up with like a new sense of spirit. Like I can conquer the world. I can take on whatever problems or situations are overwhelming me and bogging me down. And I just get the sense of feeling that I was healed. The truth of the matter is, I'm actually going to share this. I dream of someone specific when I know that healing has happened. And it's really weird and baffling to me because the person that I think of that comes across in my dreams is someone that I actually have no contact with at this time of my life. And it's not someone that I was ever romantically involved in or anything like that. It's literally just some random person from high school. And I just dream about this person and I wake up feeling like everything is going to be all right. And it's honestly baffled me for years why this person, the only thing I could think of is that somehow our souls are connected, but we actually don't talk at all in this lifetime currently. So I don't know, it baffles me. I would be really curious if anyone has a similar story. Shoot me a DM or a text and let me know if you have a dream where you dream of a specific person and it's tied to like a specific thing, like healing or waking up feeling better about life in general. I'd be really curious to see if I'm like the only person who that happens to, because I can't be. Out of 8 billion people, like I absolutely can't be. So to wrap things up, remember, your dreams are not just dreams. They are whispers from your soul. They may contain messages from your guides. They might be reflections of your truth. Sometimes they're a glimpse of who you're becoming. If you're having vivid dreams, don't brush them off. Start recording them, listening to them, honoring them. Your soul is speaking, maybe even shouting. And now is the time to listen. I want you to take the time to either spend time in the morning, whether you're just thinking about them, making mental notes about what you want to look up, or taking the time to create a dream journal, Googling dream interpretations around specific colors, numbers, what does a person represent to you, etc. Like explore this side of yourself. Explore what the dream world is offering you. One other thing that I do want to touch upon before I close out this episode is I recently went back to an Akashic record reading, and it was done maybe like 3 years ago. And at the time, I took what I could from it, but I recently went back and reread it. And it literally said something about I'm the type of person that goes into other dimensions while I'm sleeping, and I might be going into realms that I shouldn't necessarily be in. And I was like, what the heck is this? Like, and how did I not notice this before? So then I decided to come up with, and guys, I used ChatGPT. I said, this is what my Akashic record report said. Give me basically a prayer to help me stay in the right lane, basically. Like stay in the positivity, stay in the light, and not go drifting off into wherever the heck I'm going, right? So, you know what? That's what I'm saying. Learn about yourself. Learn about what your dreams mean to you, and if there's anything that you need in order to get yourself on track, and here it is. I just found it. Okay. So I came up with this astral protection prayer for sleep. And I'll put this in the show notes if you're interested, but this is something that you could say before bed, and you can modify it to what fits for you and what feels right for you. But here's the one I came up with. I call upon divine source, my highest self, and my spirit guides of the highest light. Surround me in a shield of golden light, strong, loving, and impenetrable. I ask that only energies of truth, love, and healing may come near me. I call back all of my energy now, cleansed, cleared, and fully mine. As I sleep, guide my soul only to realms of peace, clarity, and divine wisdom. I close and seal all portals to the lower astral. I rest in safety, protected, and aligned with light. And so it is. So that's what it was. The Akashic record reading that I had said something that my soul might go into like the lower astral planes while I'm sleeping. So it got me thinking, and I was like, well, dang, I'm not supposed to be there. So I need to get my shit together. So I came up with this little astral protection prayer for myself. So again, just be curious about who you are. what your spiritual team is trying to tell you. I don't have all the answers. I don't claim to have all the answers. All I can advise you to do is to learn more about yourself, your life, your soul, and then align your life to the highest and best good that you possibly can. And sometimes that means exploring your shadow side. That means exploring things that you might not necessarily be on the right track right now, but you can absolutely always get better, right? When you hit rock bottom, there is no place to go besides up. And it's so important for us to continue to grow and learn and evolve. I want to thank you for spending this sacred time with me today. The topic of vivid dreams is super interesting to me. I know that some people feel like they don't dream at all, so that's also curious to me. If this episode sparked something in you, share it with a friend or leave a review to help others find this message too. If you have a dream that you want to share, shoot me a DM. I'm so curious to learn about it. And don't forget to download your free Manifest Your Dream Life workbook. The link is in the show notes and in my Instagram bio. And until next time, may your dreams be vivid, your heart open, and your soul deeply aligned.